It's Jay from ASMR for Nerds. Before I get into what we're going to do today, I wanted to talk about something that a lot of commenters have mentioned, and I mentioned in the past video about how to keep this channel going at the rate I would like it to keep going. As I've said many times, the restaurants have been taking up a ton of my time, and honestly, things have been very costly. So, it's either, I put more time into this, or neglect it, or maybe something, a little something could come out of it. So, that's where you guys come in. As I mentioned before, I hate asking for things, but I figured that since some of you mentioned it, I would bring back the Patreon page. It would be extremely helpful if you guys could chip in just a bit, and I will absolutely 100% continue uploading at least one video per day, and if the Patreon, per week, and if the Patreon reaches a certain, decent level, I will do 2 or even 3 per week. If I can use this as just a bit of supplemental income, I can dedicate more time to this rather than other things, which I would like to do. One thing I am going to also add is for Patreon patrons, I'm going to, I'm not sure how it's going to be, the numbers are going to work, but by the time this video is up, I will have it set up in the section below, where I will be sharing some of my photography prints with those who are Patreon members. I will also, for those who don't want to sign up for the monthly Patreon, I will be selling prints through, I think I'll do Etsy or something like that. So there'll be a couple of different ways for you guys to help contribute to help me continue doing this at the rate I would like to be doing it. Also, if there's a lot of participation, we will definitely do more voting and kind of, I guess, take everything to the next level in this little project of mine. So with that said, one more time, below the video, there will be links to the different options to contribute to the page. And I very much appreciate those who do contribute and also those who don't. I know money is tight for many, so absolutely no hard feelings, and still glad you're here. So with all that said, let's get into what we're doing today. And that's this book called 8-Bit. I got this as a gift from my brother for my birthday a couple of months ago. This is a book that I'll open it up and start showing you guys as I talk about it. Now, this is one of my favorite things for ASMR. It's just like giant books. Specifically ones that have really nice thick pages. This is one of them. So what this book is, obviously there's a lot of writing here, but when we get past that, it's a lot of just video game artwork. It's just a lot of video game artwork. Really big pages. runs down. It starts from old Atari games. So here you go. I guess we're jumping right in. And artworks from 1975 to 1993. So the first one, the way this book is it'll give you just a little bit of information about certain video games, and then you'll see on the next page it'll show just really big, simple pages from the game's artwork. So number 1 is Gunfight from 1975. Then Blockade, Indy 500, Combat, Space Invaders, and the classic Pac-Man. Now I'm going to read a couple of them from my favorite games, but let's get through some of these oldies first. And in the comments, please let me know your favorite retro games. There's a lot of great retro game videos out there. ASMR or just any kind. I like watching those. So here's a whole page on the Space Invaders game. Space Invaders resonates with the look and feel of early video games in their purest form. No fancy extras, just black, blank space, and solid objects. And I think Space Invaders still holds up. Now here we have the classic Pac-Man. This was the first game that I really got good at, where I could compete locally. And the classic Pac-Man board. I forgot the names of the ghosts. When you play the arcade, it tells you their names. It's like Blinky and I don't know. Oh, here we go. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Glide, the ghostly foursome, seem to move so cunningly that one might detect a degree of intelligence in their behavior. Then we have Wizard of War, Donkey Kong, Centipede, Galaga, Quakes. I never played that one. And Frogger. So this is Wizard of War. I've never played this one. Centipede, of course. Donkey Kong. I remember this level was kind of annoying. You'd climb up, and then when you jump, the platform had to be pretty much even, otherwise you would die. If the platform was just down here a bit, you would still die. This is Quicks. I think the way the game worked was you had to draw lines and close the boxes before these things came and touched whatever you were drawing. And here's a huge spread for Galaga, which has been remade 100 times since. just a street from Frogger. There's something satisfying about viewing it just as lone art. Super Cobra, Ice Hockey, Yar's Revenge, Popeye, Pole Position, and Dig Dug. Now the Popeye game has kind of an interesting story, so I'll read it to you, although I don't know if they mention it here. I'm hoping they do. Came out in 1982. Developed a year before Donkey Kong, the release of Popeye was delayed due to licensing issues. A blessing in disguise, as it turned out. If the deal with King Features Syndicate had gone through, who knows if and when Jumpman and the Gorilla would have ever seen the light of day, or, more importantly, the lights of the amusement arcades. Then again, without the success of Donkey Kong, Popeye may have had to wait even longer. Chased by a raging Bluto through 4 tricky levels, the punchy sailor endeavors to catch love symbols thrown by his gal Olive Oil. Here's from the Popeye game, which I did like a lot growing up. Pole position. Dig Dug. Zaxxon. Pitfall. Robotron. Load Runner. Excite Bike. And Kung Fu. All pretty good games, but none are quite my favorite. Although Zaxxon I did play a lot on the Commodore 64. That's this game right here. Oh, they did a write-up on it. A full page to Excite Bike, which I know is a game a lot of people love. I like it. Everybody knows this guy from Duck Hunt. There's Duck Hunt, Hero, Marble Madness, Balloon Fight, Paperboy, and Circus Charlie. Balloon Fight, I think, is one of the really good early 2-player games. It's one of those where you could work together or kind of just mess with each other. I always thought Balloon Fight guy should be in Super Smash Brothers. I think you could do some interesting stuff with them. Now we're getting to more my time. Bomb Jack, Tetris, Super Mario Brothers, Ghosts and Goblins, Ice Climber, and Hang On. Of course, they have the Tetris in the classic Game Boy green color. Everybody knows this. Super Mario Brothers. Many players still have fond memories of colorful mushrooms, flying tortoises, piranhas, and dinosaurs, all in one place. An innocent echo of childhood fantasy. Space Harrier, Commando, Teddy Boy Blues, Gradius, Tikkun World Cup, International Karate. The Legend of Zelda, which is one of my favorite Nintendo games. However, I'm not one of those people who grew up loving all things Zelda. I have a Switch and I tried Breath of the Wild, and I have to say it is boring. I know a lot of people love it, and I recognize it's a good game, but there's something that just feels lifeless about it. My favorite Zelda titles are Wind Waker and A Link to the Past. I think those are the best ones. I'm not a fan of the Nintendo 64 ones like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, so I know I catch a lot for that, but I think it's more the Nintendo 64 graphics. Just something about them always look just dull and not appealing. So, Castlevania, Kid Icarus, Metroid, Bobble, Wonder Boy. Kid Icarus is one I didn't play back then, but I picked it up later on. Maybe a couple of years ago on my DS. I bought it, virtual console, and I ended up really liking it. So that's one I missed as a kid. There's Samus, and I remember when I was young finding out there was a female behind that suit. And there's something shocking about that. The atmosphere is decidedly dark. It combines the black background of early sci-fi games with claustrophobic settings and an eerie soundtrack evocative of horror films. Here are some of the classic Bubble Bobble stages that I remember all of. Astro Warrior, Alex Kidd in Miracle World, Arkanoid, Fantasy Zone, Championship Sprint, Kid Nicky, Radical Ninja. Here's a popular one. Wow, a couple of them. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Final Fantasy, Shadowgate, Maniac Mansion, Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards, and Phantasy Star. Maniac Mansion is a notable one for me because it was the first game on the Nintendo that I felt had this sort of adventure, I don't know, a lot of PC games had this style where, I even used to play just text-based adventure games where you'd have to basically type instructions of what to do, and this game kind of did that, where it just gave you these options on the bottom and the story would play out on top. Like open, close, go to, get, use, read. And with that, I will leave you guys to continue this in the next video because we are about halfway through, and I figured, as to not rush it, we could go through the rest a bit slower in the next video. So I guess I will see you guys really soon. I promised I'm not going away, so I'm still here, and there will be more to come. Again, check out the links below for Patreon and the art prints for sale. Trying to keep it very